What's up, Raider Nation? Coming into week 10, fired up, 5-3, feeling good. I tell you, I'm amped. And we're heading into now our second of 3 in a row division rival games. That's right, the Denver Broncos are coming to Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. And this is a matchup that we're obviously always excited for, right? Denver Broncos and the Raiders go way back in the history books. As of recent, I think the rivalry's been a little overshadowed because everyone's trying to take down the Chiefs. But the Raiders and the Broncos are obviously a very historical matchup. A lot more than the Chargers, that's for sure. But if you guys are in Las Vegas, make sure you guys head to Stage Door Casino. Stage Door Casino is the only place that you should be watching the game in Las Vegas. Of course, it's 100% Raider Nation. The bar is completely themed around Raiders football, and that's going to be how you're going to get the best vibe. Not this weekend, but next weekend, I will be there. Myself, even Kenny King Jr. is going. We're going to be hosting an entire watch party again, just like we did for the home opener. So we're going to be back in Las Vegas at Stage Door Casino. If you're planning a trip, get there, hang out. I want to meet you. Anyone that's watched the show or watching this now, if that gets you to go to Vegas, I want to meet you guys whenever you get there. But yeah, so this game preview is going to look a little bit different than normal. It's not just going to be me by myself. This one is actually a collaboration with a Broncos fan. Yeah, I collaborated with the enemy. Yeah, I know. You got to forgive me for it. I want to put out some good content. This is Brandon Perna. Brandon Perna runs That's Good Broncos and That's Good Sports on YouTube. I'm sure a few of you have heard of him already. He covers a lot of all NFL things. Very cool dude, very funny dude. But unfortunately, the only thing he has going against him is he's a Broncos fan. And unfortunately, the only thing that hurt this collaboration was the fact that I had to pull out all the old equipment because you know how things are over there in Denver. You know how those Broncos fans are over there. They're way behind on the times over there. So I had to pull out the old equipment. So forgive me for this old television. I'm going to have to show you this this game preview on. So let's get into it.
Here we are with Raider Cody from the interwebs, YouTube, Twitter. Pretty convenient that your first name is Raider and you were just happened to be a Raiders fan. Raider Cody. Thanks for joining me here today. It is Broncos Raiders week. Always a fun week in the AFC West. Some people on Twitter said we should collab, or you said we should collab, and the support was strong. So here we are.
It's been kind of brewing up for a while now, man. We followed each other for a little bit, and I don't follow too many enemies. You know, I see you as an enemy, kind of friendly enemy, I guess we could say. So yeah. I've seen some of the, the loyal viewers, obviously some that watch both of our shows, and they threw it out there a couple times. They're like, Raider Cody and That's Good Sports, let's do it. So I'm like, hey, if they're supporting a cross collaboration with Denver and Las Vegas, then I think it needs to be done. And, obviously we probably have, a couple things in common. We all hate the Chiefs, and Von Miller's pretty cool. So we have a couple things in common.
See, there we go. Okay. I think you might've stole one of my questions already.
Boy.
the AFC West can, at least the Raiders, Chiefs, or Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers fans we can all hate the Chiefs together right now since they're top of the division.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to connect. I think people wanted us to come together because we're both decent at talking shit. Would that be a fair assessment?
It could be. I try not to be that guy. I try not to. But then I find myself.
It's in good fun. I don't think any of us we're over the top, but when you can get fans to hate watch you, it benefits.
It does. Hate listens count.
Okay, so I've just got a couple questions here since I'm trying to gain insight to the Raiders. Every time I start to think they're turning the corner and they're legitimately like a pretty good football team, like they've got a base there, I get a little bit nervous about Derek Carr. So I just wanted to know like where you're at with Derek Carr, because we've seen him play some pretty great games this season.
Yeah.
We've seen him play pretty average games, but the team still wins like he did against, Cleveland.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Derek Carr right now? I know he follows you, so you probably got to say some nice things. Nice things.
I got to keep this politically correct. No, I always I try and keep things as real as possible. I try and respect the players no matter what. But Derek's been one of those guys that It's probably you guys are in a similar situation early on right now with Drew Lock. The franchise isn't necessarily where you want it to be. Had Drew Lock came into the picture, right after the Peyton Manning era, he'd probably been in a different situation. For Derek Carr, he's coming into what's been a dumpster fire most of his career. I mean,
right.
the end of the Oakland era, the end of everything going on there, just a complete rebuild. John Gruden coming in, cleaning house. It's been rough for him, but last year we started seeing some things being put together. Obviously, there were some missing elements there. I felt like to our offense to really make things click. This year we're seeing it. There are some shaky moments. There's things like where I want to see Henry Ruggs. I want to see that connection get a little bit better. But even like the Cleveland game, I mean, that might have been one of his worst games of the season. But given like the weather and everything that was going on there, high winds, it was dang near snowing. There was hail. Raining
Right.
half the game. Then they go to halftime. It comes out. It's sunny. It's like, what are we doing? We played 3 different football games all in one day. So I think given the circumstances, being 5-3 with the strength of our opponents, we're playing pretty well. I mean, I'm not going to, come on here and be like, you're going down, Brandon. Like, we're taking down the Broncos. I'm not like, overly confident. I'm still not, a Chiefs fan here. I'm still, I'm still level headed.
Right.
And this is going to be a shootout either way, but we're really happy with the way number 4 has been playing. For once, the fan base somewhat agrees that Derek Carr is playing pretty well. And that takes a lot for Raiders fans to get off of his back pretty much all the way. I mean, I follow them all the worst of the trolls, Twitter. I mean,
Yeah.
think of a Raiders fan in your head and think of how bad Twitter can be. That is like the worst combination that you can have probably. So for them to be semi cool and actually back Derek up and compliment him, I'm pretty impressed. And hopefully, it all depends though. We got to see how he plays down the stretch because that's all that matters. First half of the season has always been a little bit favorable for him, but now we got to see how we play the second half of the season and see where that goes. But I want to flip that over to you now and Drew Lock. How's the fan base feel about Drew Lock?
It's a roller coaster. 1 week everybody's high on him. The next week everybody wants to shit on him. Today in his press conference, he had to remind people that the players are human too. So I think the players are hearing a lot of the Twitter noise that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I think like Broncos fans just have to be patient with Drew Lock. I think we got excited because we saw some really good things last season.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever reason, they switched offensive coordinators this offseason. They don't have an offseason to work together. Drew Lock gets hurt again this year early. So there's just been a lot that went against him succeeding right now, in addition to being young and trying to figure out how to play in the NFL. Losing Cortland Sutton, I think, was like him and Cortland had some of Drew Lock's best plays were to Sutton. So he's not on the field, but Jerry Judy's starting to come along. So I think we just have to be patient and remind ourselves that he needs time to develop. I'm not sure Pat Shurmur is the best fit for him, but I think once Drew Lock learns to see the whole field, there are opportunities. He's just not getting them right now or taking advantage of them when they are there on the field. The defense too, like it's been decimated by injuries. Shelby Harris is going to be out longer because of COVID. So you guys should be able to run the ball effectively this weekend. But I think like the difference right now, if I'm looking at the Broncos offense and the Raiders offense, Derek Carr's been very safe with the football, just 2 picks this year, right? So the Broncos have been through 3 quarterbacks. They've had like 12 interceptions, I think, on the season so far. And really what I think your guys' weakness is, and maybe correct me, is your defense is not opportunistic. You're not getting a lot of turnovers from the defense, those type of plays that would totally benefit Derek Carr because he's playing safe football and giving that offense just a couple opportunities for easy scores. So my question is, what should the Broncos do to beat the Raiders this weekend?
You're gonna have to stop the run, and the way you said you're not gonna be able to stop the run, man. And it's unfortunate. I will say, Shelby Harris, ex-Raider. I go off for him and any player having COVID. For us, it made me think. I immediately thought of how you guys won the game last year. The tip ball and 2-point conversion from Shelby Harris is what won you guys the game.
He's been so good at batting down passes and tipping balls. It's like an insane sort of stat. He's just so good at it.
So I don't want to say it's a sigh of relief because I never want a guy to go on the COVID list, but we're going to run the ball is what we're going to do. Josh Jacobs right now, even though we found a little backup that you guys are very familiar with, Devontae Booker.
Booker's playing well.
He came out of nowhere, man. I think he had like a year off. I don't even know if he hardly played last year, if like much at all.
He would get like one carry a game, one pass a game, basically.
Yeah, might as well just be nothing. You know what I mean? Might as well just go out there, warm up, and go back to the practice squad or whatever. So it's really nuts. It's like taking a year off, and he comes out this year, and he's doing well for us. And I think it's mainly just because teams are, I don't want to say they're sleeping on him, but they're so focused on Josh Jacobs when he's in the game. Josh Jacobs, even though he's not getting as big of a workload as he could, he's still, I think, second in carries this season. So he's still getting the ball quite a bit. And we're going to establish the run is what we're going to do. And then from there, we've been good about, like you said, we play safe football and we take calculated shots down the field. I mean, it's pretty much, we're going to, get everybody up in the box. And then we're going to find that one matchup that we like down the field. And, more times than not, that shot down the field is going to be pretty freaking close to happening. And that's kind of where the game either gets won or it is just a tight game all the way down the stretch. So if we can get a few down the field, that's where the Raiders offense really starts to get moving. And I know that defense of yours with the injuries that's going on, you guys started off pretty hot and you guys have had a good defense now for many years, but the injuries, man.
It's like, if the starters were there, I'd feel good about stopping the run because Mike Purcell and Shelby Harris on the field at the same time with Alexander Johnson, they were just doing a great job against the run. Well, pretty good job. There's some little things this season, but then last week we're down Bryce Callahan and AJ Boye. I don't know where their status is for this week. So yeah, you guys you're getting the Broncos kind of at a good time for a win. But I think like the surprise for me with the Raiders right now is kind of how well Nelson Aguilar's playing.
It's the surprise in the world.
He leads in touchdowns, right? Not dropping the ball like he's been knocked for by fans saving babies and mentioning on live television. I'm
so glad we adopted that meme. It's like probably one of the best things ever. We get to use it every time now that he actually makes a catch. We had someone they Photoshop. This is why I love Twitter, is for all the Photoshops. And they had him. They had a Photoshop of Nelson Aguilar high pointing a baby in the end zone.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's probably one of the greatest fans of all time. That dude.
Good stuff.
So maybe I just mentioned him, but who's an underrated player on the Raiders roster right now?
Ooh, I was about to ask you almost the same question for you guys, but I'm going to go with probably Hunter Renfro. And he's underrated, I would say, on the field, on and off the field. I mean, off the field, the dude looks like he's going to adjust your insurance on the sideline.
Exactly.
Like he's subbing for class. Like he's gonna get done with his game on Sunday, and then Monday he has a class to go substitute teach.
Right.
So he's definitely he's different. He's wild, but he's such like a weird raw football player. He just knows there's like all these rookie wide receivers that we bring in, like a Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs, and these guys are super talented physically. Of course, they're still rookies, so they got to learn the ropes of a pro. And they're talking about Renfro knowing like every single release that's possible. So he's just like just knowledgeable on things like that. So he's super sneaky in my opinion. I think he's the Raiders' second leading receiver right now, and it's just real low key. Like when it comes down to crunch time, you might not see him out there on the field hardly the first couple quarters. It's weird how this works. He'll be returning punts, and then all of a sudden you'll see him out there trotting on the field whenever it's in crunch time, and like every ball is going to him. He runs these routes that are not really designed routes. It's kind of like option routes, or if you're sitting in soft zone coverages, his job is to go find the hole in the zone and sit there and hopefully just catch a rocket to his chest. Like that's kind of just like his thing. So that's my, I guess, sleeper for the Raiders offense. Now, let me interrupt this conversation right now about the Raiders and Broncos matchup here with my buddy Brandon Perna with a little segment that we're doing with Cited Debates. And Cited is actually an app made for debates. Go figure, right? So you download the Cited app. I have the links in the description. And every single week, I am posting a debate, something that is going on with Raider Nation. And we're going to cover this every single week, midweek. So if you download this, you can get involved. And this week, a question that I posted is Nelson Aguilar right now performing good enough to be the Raiders' number 1 wide receiver. Is he wide receiver 1? Is he capable of that role? Or should I say, is he filling those shoes right now? And there's one comment first. I guess we'll go and start off right now, and that's Christian Ramirez. Straight up, he is the number 1. As of now, 73% of votes are saying that Nelson Aguilar is the number 1 wide receiver for the Raiders. And, hey, I can see it. I can definitely see it. The production on the field, he's got 17 catches and 5 touchdowns. He's just a big play machine right now. Nelson Aguilar is making that case. Maybe it's that number 15 jersey like my buddy Nelson Aguilar, like my buddy Eddie Borsili says. Another comment I want to highlight, and that is Mark Davis Jr. Yes, Mark Davis's long-lost son that nobody knew about. He said Ruggs and Waller is still the go-to options, but Nelson has done a great job. And I can definitely see it. I wouldn't say that Ruggs is the go-to target, but he's definitely the one that's probably catching the most heat and the player that the defense is most focused on. Darren Waller, I would still, he's probably making the biggest argument as the number 1 receiver. As a wide receiver, obviously he's a tight end, different story, but I will also throw in a little factor with Hunter Renfro because my guy's sneaky good. But like I said, this debate right now is being brought to you by Cited, and make sure you download the Cited app. Every week we're posting a debate, getting involved. I'm reading every single person's comments, so if you get in there with a good opinion or good option, get in there. I mean, I'm posting it every Sunday, Monday, maybe a Tuesday, and we're going to talk about whatever's on Raider Nation's mind. That's where we're doing all the heavy hitting right there. Cited. So download the Cited app. I have iOS and Android links down in the description. But let's get back to this conversation with Brandon. To flip it over to you, your offense. Obviously, we're used to the Demaryius Thomas days, the Emmanuel Sanders days. Right. You don't have those guys right now. Who, in your opinion, are your top playmakers, and who should Raider Nation be looking for if the ball's in their hands? Who are we looking for?
Well, Jerry Judy just had a huge game against the Falcons. So Judy's really starting. Like, the crazy thing about Judy is, like, he's torching dudes off the line of scrimmage. He's running excellent routes every game, and he's getting, like, a lot of attention for that. But since the Broncos have gone through 3 quarterbacks this season, it's just he hasn't gotten the targets he sort of needed to kind of just show up like as that dominant player. They're just getting KJ Hamler involved in the game. So that's going to be like what our version of hopefully what you guys drafted in Henry Ruggs.
I'm going to stop you right there. Actually, KJ Hamler coming back. There's a little dispute going on. Who's faster, Henry Ruggs or KJ Hamler?
Ooh, I know. Like, they were and they're the 2 like top 3 speed dudes in the draft, right? So I don't know. I don't know who's faster. I know Ruggs is super fast.
Ruggs is faster. We'll make that.
We're just trying to get those guys involved. And then we had, tight end Albert O, because his last name's impossible to say, but he tore his ACL last week. Him and Locke played together at Missouri, and they were starting to build like a connection there. So like Cortland Sutton out, their tight end who was going to complement Noah Fant, he's out. Philip Lindsay's been banged up on and off. Melvin Gordon's fumbled a few times. But honestly, the best offensive player this season's been Garrett Bowles. What? Garrett Bowles just been a stud. Like, the penalties are gone. He's like one of the highest rated linemen in the NFL. He's playing well every week. So my sleeper guy, Garrett freaking Bowles, man.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
That was almost John Gruden. Garrett Bowles, man. I can't do Gruden. I needed Will's had a scheduling conflict. He can do Gruden. So
he's the Gruden voice. Oh,
yeah,
man.
He can do it.
Garrett Bowles. That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I'm not too familiar with offensive line, but ours has been banged up. Ours has been, we have a revolving door right now at right tackle. And left tackle, I don't even know. Hopefully Colton Miller comes back. So if there's no Colton Miller, then it's going to look rough again for us.
Yes. Was Trent Brown?
Trent Brown's like, he has COVID. He's back on the COVID list, but I don't think he ever tested positive is what's kind of weird. He did it first, that put him on the list, and then they called him like asymptomatic, but then he was having symptoms, but not testing positive. It was super weird. So they're deeming him out like a month. I'm like, shoot, man, that's it's kind of crazy. And that's a big boy. So it's like, man, you start affecting the lungs in there and the breathing capabilities of a big guy like that, then you're asking for trouble. So that's something to
So you're
track for us.
saying edge rushers might make a difference on the Broncos D.
If there's a number 70 at right tackle, then I mean, I don't know. I'm honestly, I don't want to put a petition out. I'm cool with putting Jason Witten at right tackle at this point. I mean, it's getting to the point to where, I mean, we're down to, I don't think any tackles. If we dropped another tackle, then our backup center who played tackle in college would go back out there. So yeah.
Yeah. That's the Broncos right tackle position has been a thorn in our side for like the last 5 years. So I feel you. I feel your pain. And I think DeMar Dotson, who's been playing right tackle and playing pretty well, he got hurt in the last game. I don't know what his status is for this week. So sounds like this game's a little bit of a shit show for both teams.
It usually is, man. There's
that's true. That's true.
That's what's nice about these division rivals like this. It's no matter what, even if we were playing at the level of like the Chiefs, like maybe losing a game or two, or being highly dominant for the last 5 years, it doesn't matter going into this thing. Like we just beat the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It does not matter that, or you can be like the Chargers and get close every single game and somehow choke. But yeah, I mean, that's not, it's not quite us, but it's close.
Boy, I mean, the Raiders and the Broncos just really tore the still beating heart out of the Chargers' chest the last 2 weeks. Poor Justin Herbert. I've never seen like a young quarterback play so well and just lose so many games. It's such a Chargers thing to do.
They're never going to get out of this.
No. Okay, I'm going to let you get out of here. But what I wanted to know is two, okay? One, your all-time most hated Bronco, and your all-time favorite Bronco that you have to admit that you like, even though it goes against everything in your being.
Man, that is a tough one. Most hated Bronco? How do I narrow that down?
Well, you got to pick one.
I'm going to go with Aqib Talib. Most hated Bronco. Because, oh man, I mean,
that makes sense. Him and Crabtree, that's a great.
I'm telling you, I was there that game during the big fight, the second one where it went to the sidelines and they're boxing in the end zone. And I was our company had a suite right above that end zone, and I felt like I was like trying to like coach him. I'm like jab, like rip his helmet off, ripping his helmet off, and
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's probably definitely the most hated, and I'd say the most liked. Shoot, man. If like ex Bronco, I would say for some reason I like Shannon Sharp. He's kind of cool. But I'm gonna go. I think Von Miller. Like if I had to pick a Bronco right now that low-key I actually like, and hate. I don't want to say I hate to admit it. I kind of hate to admit it just because he is a Bronco and it's kind of nasty to say it.
Right.
But
no, I think a lot of people like Von Miller because he's not an asshole. He's not overly cocky, and he just seems like cool. Like he's this great edge rusher who's a chicken farmer at times. Like
and he's he's always
he's just an interesting cat.
And he's nice. He's always nice to us in press conferences. Like he's very well spoken and professional. He doesn't like make it like a weird thing.
That goes a long way.
Now I'm gonna flip it. Okay, now you got to answer the question. Who's the most hated Raider of all time? And
Antonio Brown.
Well, we have something in common. That's my most hated Raider of all time.
Goodness. Man, I mean, like, as somebody who had a love-hate relationship with Bill Romanowski when he was a Bronco, seeing him as a Raider, I did not like that. Hunter Renfro, definitely my current favorite Raider.
I like that. I just ordered his jersey, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how you cannot root for little Hunter Renfro out there.
Right?
And I say that as he's bigger than me, you know what I mean? But
maybe.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of a Raider that I liked. Definitely not Khalil Mack because
5 sacks.
I respected the way he played the game, but he embarrassed Michael Schofield. I think probably maybe one I respect the most is Woodson.
Oh, I like that. That's I got it right here on the wall, man. Yeah. That's my favorite player of all time.
Right there. Didn't love him like while he was, a Raider, but that's a guy's career I think I really respect. So
I like that.
I'll go
Much
with that one.
respect. I guess I'll be nicer to Broncos fans on Twitter after that. That was a good one.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll do our best.
But man, hey, I appreciate the collaboration, dude. This was fun.
Yeah, where can people find your work?
Well, if you're a Broncos fan, you might not want to come looking for it. It's little.
That's fine. Got to promote it though.
You can follow me on Twitter at Raider Cody. Follow me on Sunday. It's actually fun. It's actually a fun timeline if you want to join crazy Raider Nation. We're all about the wildness. And RaiderCody.com. I have the YouTube and podcast links. You just search Raider Cody wherever you listen to anything, and I'm there. And awesome. I guess I'm going to be dropping this on mine. So where can we find all your stuff, man? I know you cover a lot of NFL stuff. So where do we find yours?
Yeah, That's Good Sports is my main YouTube channel. So just look that up. I cover all of the NFL, not just the Broncos there. So every Monday I do like a best and worst of NFL Sunday. So that's probably the episode we put the most work into and just grind out trying to get it up. So if you're looking for a lot of dumb jokes and football info, that's where you do it.
That's all anyone looks for on the internet, isn't it?
Well, I would like to see more, you know?
Yeah, you're doing a good job then. You're contributing to a good cause.
Thank you, Raider Cody.
Good stuff, man. See ya. So that's going to wrap up the show. And real quick, before we go, I have one message for you guys. All right, guys. Winning season has returned at MyBookie. Winning season means doubling your first deposit. Winning season means insane props, epic bonuses, and the craziest cross-sport wagers. At MyBookie, winning season means watching live sports and betting live sports all season long. So Raider Nation, let's get amped. The Raiders are playing great, and that means action-packed Sundays and huge cash prizes. Get in on the action and use promo code RaiderCody to double your first deposit. New players get up to $1,000 in free play, designed to add more excitement to the sports you love and the games you bet. So bet with the best this NFL season for your chance to win big. Again, use promo code RaiderCody and double your first deposit. Your winning season begins today, only at MyBookie. And there you have it. Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos, Week 10. We got 5-3 versus 3-5. Division rivals. Record doesn't matter. Talent doesn't matter. Heart does. That's what matters whenever you face a division rival. Who wants it more? Who hates the other person more? Who hates the other team more? Who hates their guts more? And let's hope it's the Raiders that are going out there and they just want to stomp the Denver Donkeys. Appreciate my guy, Brandon Perna, hopping on. Make sure you look for him on Twitter. Maybe we'll be heckling each other a little bit on Sunday. That's at Brandon Perna. You'll see That's Good Sports on Twitter. Good time. Raiders and Broncos. It's a heated rivalry, but we're all human, and yeah, you know we can somewhat be friends. We can have a good time. Raider Nation. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. And be on the lookout for my post-game show as soon as the game is over. Raiders, Broncos. I'm feeling 6-3. I don't know about you guys. Let's get fired up, Raider Nation. See you guys in a few days. Later.